Yo! What's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Happy Thursday to all of the real ones out there. Appreciate everybody being here. We got a lot to talk about as the New York Giants have essentially wrapped up OTAs. They'll have a practice tomorrow, but I don't need tomorrow's practice to let you guys know who the winners and losers are after the 9 or 10 practices that they've already had. And I also want to talk about one of my tweets, and shout out to Abdul Carter. He posted a video of some practice film where the Giants defensive line absolutely dominated the Giants offensive line, and I feel like people are kind of sleeping on how deadly this defensive line can be for the New York Football Giants. So we'll talk about that. I mean, this is a team that had a historical start to the season last year when it comes to total team sack numbers, and they've only got drastically better by adding Abdul Carter, by selecting a talented player like Darius Alexander, going out and signing Chauncey Golston as well. And we're going to do a live mailbag, as always, on today's show. Shout out to everybody in the building. We're going to let the audience build up in the show. Everybody gets an opportunity to tap that notification and join us live. I mean, get some comments on these live videos. Marshall, you don't really talk any Giants content in the first 8 minutes, and I want everybody to get in the building. Like my guy, that guy, says, we in the building. Shout out to my man, that guy, Greg Congdon, in the building as well. The gaming cube is here. Justice's dad is here. Salute to all the real ones. We appreciate y'all being here. So for all the people that are going to watch this when this show is not live, we do it for the people that join us when we are live. We want to show, obviously, love to the people that watch this video on demand, but we go live to hang out with all of the real ones live. So if you're watching this when it's not live, change it. Turn those notifications on so you can join us when we are live on the channel, because I think if you ask my guy Greg Congdon, or my guy King Kenya, or my guy the Scriv in the building, and definitely if you ask that guy, these shows are a lot more fun when they are live. So make sure y'all are here. Have those notifications turned on. We're like 90 days away from the NFL season being kicked off, and I am excited for this Giants season. If you love this channel and you bleed Giants blue, give me a real one down. Like, oh my God, he scared the shit out of me. Smitty just scared me. Slammed the door shut. Unbelievable. My man Thunder. Ooh. Shout out to Thunder. That guy bringing the fire to the chat as always. Joey DeLuca in the building. What's happening, my man? David Jones, Alexis, the Scriv. All the real ones in the building. We appreciate y'all all for being here. Tom Meyer coming in with a $2 super chat as well. Shout out to you. Gerard, what up? Chill Mode T in the building. What's happening, my man? Let's go, baby. We appreciate all y'all being here, showing love as always. We're going to get back to going live once a week, probably doing it on Thursdays. I like to do it later in the week because I just think it's more fun, and we get closer to the weekend and we get to have more vibes. We got producer Smitty in the building today, ready to rock and roll. We're like 93, 92 days away from Giants football being here.
That's music to my ears, honestly, because it just feels like we're in this long waiting game now. Kind of basketball season's wrapping up, and we're getting into the dog days of the offseason. So it can't come soon enough. I'm hyped for G-Man football.
And I think if you factor in the preseason, we're even closer to that. And we're 84 days away from week 1 of the NFL season, which means there's 4 weeks before that for the preseason. So 84 minus 28
is 56.
We're less than 60 days away from preseason game number 1.
Whoa.
I'm fired up.
That's big time.
I know y'all are, and preseason is going to be a lot of fun to watch. We're going to watch Russell Wilson. We're going to watch Jaxson Dart. We're going to watch Jameis Winston. It's going to be a lot of fun. Tom Meyer, what's happening, my man? Marsh, do we get Dart snaps in the preseason? I think you're going to get a lot of Jaxson Dart in the preseason. I don't really see any reason not to play Dart in the preseason. I guess my question would be, how much Russell Wilson are we going to see in the preseason? I'd have to go back and look at some data. Is he a preseason player? I know he didn't last year. He had actually an injury happen in the preseason. I don't know if it was preseason, but prior to the season. Maybe with a new team and a new coach and a new spot, he might play a little bit more.
I could see basically two drives. One in game 1 and one in game 2.
I could see that as well. I would like to get him out there. You can only build up so much chemistry without actually playing football games. And
not historically a preseason player. Yeah.
I'm interested, though. I'm interested to see how that's going to unfold. I think we're going to get a lot of Jaxson Dart. There's no real reason to not play Dart and play a guy like DeVito who's not going to make this team. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. Shout out to you, Tom Meyer. We appreciate y'all. Legend. If y'all are ready for Giants football to start, please click that thumbs up icon. 112 people in the building, only 29 likes. Those are rookie numbers. So if you could, please click the like button. Let YouTube know we're live. Let everybody know that subscribe to this channel that we're live. We're having a lot of fun in here. My man King Kenya says Smitty sent in the house.
King Kenya, crown that man. How we doing, brother?
Crown him. Rad in the building. What up? What happening? What's happening? Kevin Harwood says, let's go, Big Blue. Donna, need to find a good GRAS team. I don't know what that means. Good grass team?
Grass team?
I don't know what that means. I don't know. You're going to have to help me out. Justice Dad says, has to be a study on how real grass, less injuries. Yeah, I always think that the reaction to the Giants playing on turf is a little bit of a overreaction, but
MetLife's got a bad rap.
It does. But everyone always talks about the Giants always being injured, but it's weird they never talk about the Jets always being injured because of the MetLife turf, even though they play on the same field.
Yeah.
So there's that. MetLife does have grass in it right now for, what is it, World Cup this summer?
Yeah, World Cup
this summer, so they're doing that. I'd like for them to keep the grass, but that's it's not how that works, unfortunately. Shane Tompkins, what's up, says, bro, every player talks about how horrible MetLife is. Yeah, and then Javon Holland signed to come play with the Giants, so couldn't have been too bad. Javon Holland called him out, and then he went and signed for him. Look, obviously NFL players are going to want to play on grass over turf, but I just think it's a little bit over-dramatized.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. That's just where I'm at. My man Thunder says like it, subscribe. Yeah, just hit that like button, man. 43 likes. Late on a Thursday. Maybe people don't want to talk Giants football today. I don't know. I'm excited to. They say it's like landing on cement. I think it's more so about cutting than landing, but I totally hear you, Shane. I totally hear you. We are going to get into a mailbag on today's show. That is if you guys want to do a mailbag. And the way that you guys can show us that you want to do a mailbag is by asking questions in the comment section, by dropping a #Giants, or you could super chat to get on the show. All super chats always make it up on screen. Smitty and I will give you our opinions and our thoughts on those to the best that we can.
Yep.
And we want to show love to people that show love to this channel. Like my guy Joey DeLuca coming in with a super chat, and that guy just doing what that guy does. And give me some JDs in the chat, and then give me some TGs in the chat. Joey DeLuca, how you doing, man? I miss doing our Knicks watch parties. I miss hanging out with the real ones. Joey says, we have a great team. New York Giants playoffs this year, 10-6. Well, you got to go 10-7 or 11-6, Joey. We're up to 17 games in the season right now. I think 10-7 is hopeful, but not unrealistic.
It's
hopeful,
attainable.
but attainable is a great word. Attainable is a great word. So, Joey, let me know. 11-6 or 10-7. You let me know. And, oh, wow, the real ones are in the building today. They've been missing their Giants now. It doesn't matter the number. It matters the people. And the people of this channel always show up and they show out. We got a 3-point goal. That guy. Bang, 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 bang. A $300 super chat.
Whoa!
Back-to-back weeks. Back. It's unbelievable. That guy, thank you, brother. We appreciate you. I'm glad that the gear we sent you finally showed up. I know that some hats. I think we should have sent a shirt your way. I put a shirt to get sent your way. That says Real One on it. I don't know if it ever did. Glasses should have came your way.
A legend.
A legend. We can't ever repay you for what you do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you. And the quote of the year, as always, I asked him, do you want to be called TD Gaming or do you want to be called that guy? And he says, I like that guy because I kind of am that guy. So unbelievable.
Spine's chilly every time I hear that.
That guy, salute to you. From one goat to literally goat Congdon. We got a 3-point goal. Greg Congdon. Bang, bang. Get the GCs flowing in the chat. Woo! Are the Bang Bros making a bang, bang statement today?
Whoa.
Oh, man. A Thursday Bang Bro sesh is always something.
That's something. That is something.
Greg Congdon, how the hell are you, man? I cannot wait for the season to get back. I miss watching Giants football with y'all. I'm still kind of in basketball mode right now, but the itch for Giants football, it's heating up for me, man. Greg, thank you. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Says, I am loving them, giving them, trashing on us, the under, giving us no chance. I love playing as the underdog. 5.5 wins, Greg Congdon. I try to be realistic. I try not to blow smoke. I try not to drink the Kool-Aid too much, which I drink a lot of Giants Kool-Aid. 5.5, the over feels like a lock. I don't know. It just does to me. 5.5 feels like a lock, and y'all can sound off. Greg Congdon likes being an underdog. I like being an underdog. We have chips on our shoulder. That's why we are where we are. Over. You for under 5.5 wins this year.
It's easy O's. That's easy O's.
The schedule's tough. There's no doubt about it.
Also, Brian Dable is coaching for this bet right here. Like, his job relies on whether or not he has over 5.5 wins.
If they win 5 games next year, he's fired.
Both of them are fired.
Yeah, they're probably both fired. I gotta go over, man. I know I'm biased. I'm a fan of this team first and foremost. I'll never be able to shake that. That guy says if you say under, you're a hater. I agree. Like I legitimately don't understand how you can say under. They won 3 games last year, and they started games with Tommy DeVito,
Tim Boyle.
Drew Lock and Tim Boyle played football for this team. Oh, and Daniel Jones. I don't know.
Yeah, 10 games from him.
I don't know how much over. I'm pretty much gonna say I would, if it was 6.5, I would still bet the over.
Yeah. So
I would bet the over on 6.5. I would.
My floor is 7 wins.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Greg Congdon. We love you, brother. That guy, thank you. We love you. And we got one guy in here who finally decided to show love to this channel again. Everybody welcome Vinny Pitt, man. He was too busy to come join us last week. He literally messaged me, said no one wants to watch Giants live in the summer. Stop going live. And then he sent me a picture with an earring in, I think, the wrong ear. Yeah. It was weird. Weird. We love you, Vinny Pip. Thanks for being here. And welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show, Vinny.
Something else entirely.
Unbelievable. What up, Vin? Good to see you, my man. We are going to do a mailbag. We are going to talk Giants OTAs, winners and losers. Giants minicamp's going to start, I think, next week. Think next week. And then before that, you know it. It'll be training camp, and preseason football will be here. And we're all going to be watching Giants football games together. So if you want to get in our mailbag, we'll do a mailbag. If you guys want to get on the mailbag, just drop a comment, drop a question in the comment section. Include # Giants, #Giants, just like you see it on screen. That way producer Smitty can pop it up on the screen, and we can talk about it. Mm-hmm. And if you want to guarantee your spot in the mailbag, you can go ahead and super chat to get on the show. Just like that guy, just like Greg Congdon. and just like Joey DeLuca as well. And, of course, my man Tom Meyer coming in showing love to the channel as always. We appreciate y'all. Peter, Abdul Carter gives me Micah Parsons vibes, but even better, I need a Carter jersey. I'm going to just try to hold back, but I think there's a world where the Giants could have a top 5 defense this year. I don't think that's insane to say. I really don't.
I don't think it's insane to say that they have a top 3 pass rush.
I think they should have the best pass rush in the NFL.
They should have the best, yeah. And I'm lowballing it by saying 3rd.
I was looking at some numbers last year, and the Denver Broncos led the NFL in sacks last year, and they were at like 60-something. I think the Giants can get to 60 sacks this year. 63 sacks for the Broncos last year. The Giants had 35 sacks through the first 8 games of the season. If you just scale that out, that goes to what?
70.
70 over 16 games. That guy says, do you think I have surpassed the $5,000 total donated? I don't know. It's close.
It's definitely close.
I would have to go back and look at the receipts. But if you think you did, I'm not going to tell you didn't. I know there's been at least 4 or 5 $500 super thanks. Look, man, we appreciate it. Seriously, thank you. We would not be able to do this channel without people like, oh man, that guy, Greg Congdon, King Kenya, all the people that ball out and show this channel love. I'll tell you this much. It makes me and Smitty look a lot better to our bosses. We got annual reviews coming up in a couple of weeks, and you guys are helping us out. Seriously.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate y'all. My man Mamadou. What's up, Mamadou? Gerard in the chat getting a question in. Be like Gerard. Be like Joey DeLuca. Be like Mamadou. Get your questions in using hashtag Giants. That way we can go ahead
and they're coming through
and
as well.
Pop it up on screen, and they are coming through. Cool beans. Bronx Boy says, my math says you're 500 away. Let's make it happen. Bronx Boy, you're ridiculous, brother. I'll tell you that much.
That was mean.
That guy says, Bronx Boy, I will for show. I don't doubt him either. I don't doubt him. That's for sure. Anthony Rodriguez says, best chat in the world. Anthony, it's only the best chat because you're a part of this chat. And if you're a part of the chat today, I ask all y'all to just click that thumbs up icon. 173 people in the chat. Audience is climbing, and so are the likes. We're 26 likes away from 100 likes. Once we get to 100 likes on today's show, we'll dive into our first segment, Giants OTA winners and losers. How about that?
How about it?
Greg Congdon, yeah, the Broncos defense was really good last year. I know there's a lot of talk about Bo Nix and that offense.
He was a lot of short fields for Bo Nix.
A lot of short field, a lot of advantageous opportunities for him. Their defense was really good. You led the NFL in sacks, and you got guys in your secondary like Patrick Surtain. They were a good defense, and I've kind of compared the Giants of this year to the Broncos of last year, where people thought the Broncos were going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL last year. Their defense was great. They got better quarterback play than anticipated, and they were carried by their defense. And if the Giants are going to go places where we all hope and think they can, it's going to be because their defense is one of the best in the National Football League. That's where it's got to be. My man Max says, yo, Marsh, have you ever seen the movie Big Fan? No, I haven't.
I have not either.
I haven't. I got to watch that. Bronx Boy says, I love that guy. It's hard not to love that guy. I want to be that guy.
Because he is that guy.
He goes by that guy because he kind of is that guy. Shout out to y'all, man. 19 likes away from 100 likes. Once we get there, we'll start the video. If you have liked the video, you can type me in the comment section. We'll give you guys a shout out. Michael getting a question in. Thank you, my friend. Anthony says, is the Wrecking Crew back? That guy and Greg Congdon are back. I'll say that much. King Shot says underrated. I agree. Greg Congdon liked the video. Joey DeLuca has liked the video. Tiger Metal Stick.
Away.
Stack. Why do I always say stick?
Stack them up.
Stack them up. Every time I say that, I got to take a lap.
Yep.
I got to take a lap. I apologize. Oh, my God. Slink in the building. Lewis, Tank, Dickens, LTD. Happy summer,
time.
man. That's a legend. That's a legend. Dr. Pancake, I'm far more excited to watch our defense than our offense this year. I'm with you, man. I am extremely my expectations for the Giants defense are high. And I want to set them high because I'm a guy that likes to be hurt. And if they don't live up to those expectations, I want to feel it. I want to feel it. Look, you should be good. Dexter Lawrence I think you could make the argument when you talk about the best players at their respective positions, there's no bigger gap in any position bigger than the best defensive tackle, best nose tackle in the NFL in defensive Dexter Lawrence, and the second best nose tackle in the NFL. There's no bigger gap. Like, Mahomes is the best quarterback, but the gap between him and Josh Allen is big, but the gap between Dexter Lawrence and the next best nose tackle is massive. And
we're going to show you guys on the show that I love.
Yeah, we'll break that down. Braden says, Marsh, how do I submit a question? You just ask a question in the comments, and you include hashtag Giants in your question, my man. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. That is all you got to do. Like it says on the screen. Live Q&A coming up. Hashtag Giants in the comment section or Super Chat. 5 likes away from 100, and we can get it rolling. We're going to start today's show talking about some Giants OTA winners and losers. We did a video a couple of days, probably a week or so ago. Might have been on the live show last week. I don't remember. 3 guys that have been balling at OTAs. We'll talk about them a little bit more. We'll include some losers as well. Nobody's a loser at OTAs, really. But there are some things that stuck out to me that we'll talk about, and some injury updates to get to on Malik Nabers.
Yep.
I'm excited to talk about it, man. Does Russ have one more in him, Austin? Talking about one more ring? I hope so.
There's legitimate expectations around the Giants this year, and I think that's fun.
From Giants fans, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. From Giants fans, yes.
I think everyone else thinks they're going to suck.
Yep.
Chase Sr., my guy, he is an Eagles fan, so take that for what you will. He had Russell Wilson as the 14th best quarterback in the NFC.
In the NFC?
In the NFC. In the NFC!
Stop it. Who did he have above him?
Some questionable names.
I think I actually have the list.
Some questionable names. Bryce Young, and I like Bryce Young. He had
Yeah, I have it.
I mean, he got 13 names ahead of him. I don't know.
Russell Wilson. He had Michael Penix.
Michael Penix over Russell Wilson's a fucking joke. I'm sorry.
Bryce Young, Michael Penix, and the rest of them, I guess you could argue all makes sense.
But I think you could also argue that Russ is better than them.
Yeah. I mean, for the on any given.
I'm sorry, if I got to win a game tomorrow, I'm choosing Russell Wilson over Caleb Williams. I'm sorry, I am.
On any given Sunday, Russ can be better than Caleb Williams. You can be better than Jordan Love. He throws stinkers up there. Darnold, he can be better than.
Especially if it's not Toyota-thon.
Yep, especially if that's Toyota-thon, November, December. And he can be better than Dak Prescott on a Sunday. I swear to God, he can be absolutely better than Dak Prescott on a given Sunday.
Mike G in the building. What up?
And the thing is, he's going to be better than Dak Prescott on a Sunday this season. He's going to be better than Jaden Daniels on a Sunday this season. I know for a fact it's going to happen. Like, everybody's going to say that's crazy. It's going to happen. I promise you.
There was a 6-game stretch last year where the Pittsburgh Steelers averaged 28 points per game. Go look up the last time the Giants averaged 28 points in a season. It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
28 points a season is actually really, really high, too. Has that ever happened? I don't know if it has.
I was looking it up yesterday, and I gave up because I got too far back, and I got busy. Everybody, give me a K in the chat because we got a man.
Oh, shit.
We got a myth, and some people call him the president of the Bang Bros Productions. We got a 3-point goal. King Kenya. Bang! Bang! I love the profile picture, man. Every single time. It cracks me up.
Wait, what is this? It
says Bang Gang.
What the?
It's unbelievable.
Oh, my God.
It's unbelievable.
I'm out of the loop. Kenya, you've been balling.
He's been balling, man. Shout out to Kenya. Happy Thursday, bro. I hope all is well, man. My man Mike G in the chat as well. Shout out to the GOAT Mike G. All he does is hit dingers. Are you hitting more dingers than Aaron Judge? Because he has set the bar pretty high for himself. Kenya, 8 wins easy this season. So you think we will get more help in the wide receiver room? I do, because I think the quarterback play is going to be better this year than it's been in the past, and I think the quarterback we have is going to bring the best out of a guy like Darius Slayton. It's hard to be a deep threat, and I'm going to bring him up, and I mean this with no respect, and I also don't mean it with any disrespect. It's hard to be a deep threat, Smitty, when your quarterback is Daniel Jones.
Throws the ball 3 yards on 3rd and 8.
It's hard to be a deep threat if your quarterback is Daniel Jones. Alec Pierce is going to find out that this year, and Alec Pierce is a top free agent target for me this offseason. I think you're going to get a career year out of Darius Slayton. I think there's a chance that Jalin Hyatt is a contributor. Can he get 450 yards? Can he get 500 yards? Can he score 3 touchdowns? Can he create some chunk plays every other week? Can Wan'Dale Robinson have more than 600 yards on 99 catches next year? And stop. You're right. That guy. What do I call them? What do I call it? I have to have something to reference that guy. Not that guy, but that. You know what I'm saying?
That not that guy.
He is not that guy.
Nope.
He is not.
Pal.
I do. I think Malik Nabers in year 2 is going to be better than in year 1 when he had to play with Daniel Jones, Tommy DeVito, Drew Lock, and Tim Boyle. Call him the garbage. Oh, Lord. I said with no respect, but I also said with no disrespect, which I didn't mean that at all. I do. I think we're going to get more out of the wide receiver room. I think there's a world where, is Russ playing 17 games this year?
No.
No way.
There's a way. But I think it's a little unlikely.
How many games do they have to fall below 500 for Russell Wilson to be benched?
I think it depends a little bit on time of the season.
I agree.
I don't know if they're 0-4. Their first 4 games are pretty tough. The Giants are gonna be favored once this season. So
I think the only time they are favored, we went through it, is against the Saints.
Yeah, and what if you lose close games in your first 4 to teams that are on paper better than you?
Yeah.
I don't know. You're 0-4, but you're fighting them every single week.
I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not going to be shocked if we look up at the end of the season and Malik Nabers has 1,400 yards for 12 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
And
I also think that could occur with no matter who's in under
agreed.
Center.
And Darius Slayton can go for 800 yards. He did 700 yards 5 times with Daniel Jones.
I was about to say 800 would be career high, right?
Yeah. That's where I'm at. King Kenya, I think the wide receiver room will be better because the quarterback play is better. That guy says the entire top of the chat is red from donos. The Bang Pros are out. They're out, man.
Bang gang.
Greg Congdon, Mike G, that guy, King Kenya. We appreciate y'all. Thank you. All righty, we're up to 117 likes. Let's dive into the first segment on today's show. OTAs are essentially wrapped up for the Giants. Tomorrow, the 13th, is the last practice, but the Giants have already started to rest guys. A lot of guys didn't practice today. So I just wanted to look from top down and give you guys the info that I've been passed along on the latest OTA news and rumors. So if you could, hit that thumbs up icon. And as I reload my Twitter, I just love it. Tyrone Tracy. We've got a lot of dogs on this team, man. Our team that want to be great.
Hey there, neighbor.
That was hilarious.
I loved it. They look like they're having a good time. They look like there's good vibes.
There's different vibes around
There's
this
good
team
vibes
right
in
now.
the Giants practice facility right now. I'll tell you that.
There is, man. They're absolutely
I'm pumped.
Is. Josh Hart on Twitter defending Tom Thibodeaux. Josh Hart, I love you. Everybody knows I named my dog after Josh Hart. You're about 50% of the reason Tom Thibodeaux got fired. And I say that in the most respectful, kind way. Yeah, if you would have made some shots, if you didn't average 4 turnovers in the conference finals Yeah, we probably would have still had Tom Thibodeaux as the coach. I
we're
get it, but like
We're cooking him then? All right, zero way 6'4" glass cleaner.
he is. He is, man. I love him. I love him, man. He'd be a great seventh man. He can't be your fifth man. That guy says, damn, bro, I would low-key change my dog's name. She's 5.5 months old. You think I'd change it? I love the name Hart. I think it's a good dog name. I think it's a good dog name for her. If it was a boy, I would have named it Brunson, but the litter I was looking at, I got last dibs, and it was a girl. All right. Sidebar on that. Let's talk some Giants football. New York Giants OTAs are coming to a close as the last day of practice is on June 13th. And on today's video, I'm going to give you the Giants' biggest winners and biggest losers coming out of OTAs. I always like to say this when I do this segment. It's non-padded practice. Non-contact. A lot of 7 on 7s. Some 11 on 11s, but limited contact. So take it with a grain of salt of winners and losers. I just like using that as the name of the segment. We're talking about people that stood out and people that, for whatever reason it may be, didn't have the best spring session. I do know this, though. We are less than 85 days away from Giants football. We're 60 days away from the preseason being here. If you're counting down every day like I am and you're ready for the Giants to get back on the gridiron, hit that thumbs up icon right now. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Grene. Let's dive into it. OTAs are in the books. And let's talk about the people that stood out the most. And the name we're going to talk about at the start is a name that I never would have guessed had the best spring. And I think it's been pretty well documented by Giants.com, by beat reporters, and we've told you a couple of different times on this channel. Dane Belton has been the biggest Giants OTA winner this offseason. This is a guy that's entering his 4th year in the National Football League. He's going into a crowded safety room. They went out and they paid Javon Holland this offseason, and he sees the writing on the wall. You paid Holland. You made Tyler Nubert a second-round pick. It's either now or never for myself. And he showed up in a major way. Giants.com wrote this about Belton. 4 practices into OTAs, it is clear that Dane Belton is doing all that he can to make sure he does not get overlooked. During OTA number 2 last Wednesday, the first practice phase 3 that featured team drills, Belton recorded the first turnover of the spring when he made a nice play on the ball for an interception that he returned the other way for a touchdown. That play alone would have caught my eye. But then today on OTA number 4, Belton jumped in front of a pass toward the sideline for another interception, which he returned the other way for a likely touchdown. There have been only 3 days of team drills during OTAs, and Belton already has multiple pick sixes. That article was written by Giants.com about a week and a half ago. Since then, he has another interception, and at OTA day number 12, he almost had another interception, but it bounced off his hands, popped up, and it landed in the offensive hands. This dude is a ball hawk. He's making the most of his opportunities, and at OTAs, it's a lot of passing drills and essentially a passing camp, and when you hear about a safety that's all over the field with a lot of ball production for a defense that did not force a lot of turnovers last year, really forced no turnovers, that is extremely exciting to hear. And it's not new to Dane Belton. Not new to this. He's true to it. He is someone that consistently makes plays. Limited stats, limited sample size, hasn't been given the runway to be a full-time starter here, but in 49 games played, he's got 5 interceptions, 5 tackles for loss, 11 pass breakups, a forced fumble, and 4 fumble recoveries. Being in the right spot at the right time is not luck. That's preparation, that's football IQ, and that's knowing where you need to be when you need to be there. And those numbers don't come by a mistake. Like, those numbers on a backup snap count are actually insane. And just like you guys know the Giants safety depth chart, he knows it. He knows Javon Holland just got 70, 60 million, whatever it may be. Tyler Nubert was just drafted in the 2nd round. The writing is on the wall. He's the backup. But luckily for him, with a good spring, defensive coordinator Shane Bowen is going to have to look at it and say, I've always been a defensive coordinator that wants to have a lot of DBs, on the field. His last year with the Tennessee Titans, he ran the dime personnel grouping more than anybody, which is 5+ DBs on the field. Multiple safety looks, 3 safety looks. And if Dane Belton can create turnovers, he's going to be on the field. And I want to see looks of this defense where it is Belton, where it is Nubin, and it is Holland, all on the back end of this defense, patrolling it and hopefully getting us back to a spot where we can call this defense NYPD, the New York Pass Defense. Haven't been able to do that in a while. I think this year we might be able to. Let's go to the offensive side of the ball. And just like Belton's been the clear defensive OTA winner for the New York Giants, Jalin Hyatt has been the runaway offensive OTA winner for him. And this is a guy that had 8 catches last year. He was not a part of the team. He reportedly requested a trade. He said, if you're not going to use me, trade me. And it's been reported as well that him and Brian Dable got into it a couple times. And there were times last year that Jalin Hyatt didn't know the plays, and he didn't know how to run routes, and he couldn't get off press coverage, and he wasn't where he was supposed to be when he was supposed to be. And he kind of sulked, and he was in the doghouse, and blah, 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 blah. Well, this year he came in with a new mindset, a new attitude, and a new work ethic. And following OTA practice on Thursday, Brian Dable said, Jalin Hyatt, he's improved in all facets of being a receiver. We're going to need him to continue doing that into training camp. And outside of just making plays, it's obvious that he looks a little bit different as well. He's playing different, he's acting different, and he looks different. Darius Slayton told the media on Thursday that Jalin Hyatt put on about 15 to 20 pounds of muscle. He said he's playing stronger, and he just is stronger, and that's helping him play at the level that he is playing right now. And that's what you love to see. All the talk coming out of Tennessee when he was a 3rd-round pick was he can't run routes, and he's too weak. Sounds like the route running's improved. Sounds like he's getting a lot stronger as well. And in life, it's about taking advantage of your opportunities. And with Malik Nabers sidelined during OTAs due to a toe injury, which we'll talk about in a little bit, not a big deal, Jalin Hyatt has been elevated to being a first-team wide receiver with Darius Slayton and Wandale in the slot. And every day, Giants.com did a write-up of standout plays, touchdowns, and takeaways. Giants.com would post videos. Giants social media account would post videos. The beat reporters got to go to a practice one time every week. And every day, it seemed like Jalin Hyatt made a different highlight. Giants.com writing this a couple of days ago. Russell Wilson has been singing the praises of 3rd-year wide receiver Jalin Hyatt ever since the veteran quarterback signed with the team in late March. The two have continued to develop their chemistry throughout the spring, and the connection was on full display Tuesday. Hyatt ran a great route toward the sideline during 7-on-7s, with Wilson hitting him in stride for a first down. Later at 11-on-11s, Wilson found Hyatt on another moonball pass deep down the field for a 50-yard gain. It didn't end there, though, as Wilson hit the young wideout near the sideline during the final 7-on-7 period, where Hyatt made a great back shoulder grab for a first down. And that's what you love to see. That's what you love to hear. 3rd-round pick, entering his 3rd year, starting to give the team some return on investment. He is making the most of his chances. And I believe he deserves a lot of credit for it, but I also believe that Russell Wilson deserves a lot of credit for it. Russell, since he has got here, has been nothing short of complimentary of Jalin Hyatt. And when you have a 10-time Pro Bowler, a Super Bowl champion, like, it may be a stretch to call Russell Wilson NFL royalty, but like, he was putting a Hall of Fame career together before he left for the Denver Broncos. When you have that guy believe in you, that's going to make you believe in yourself a little bit more. When Russell Wilson, unprompted, says Jalin Hyatt is a guy that's been untapped in terms of potential of what he knows he's capable of on the day you sign a contract, and then you say, I think he's going to have a great year for us this year later. And then again later, you say he's a guy I really believe in you. When you have a quarterback like Russell Wilson believe in you, that's going to make you believe in yourself. And I think Jalin Hyatt needed that. Daniel Jones didn't mesh with Jalin Hyatt. He's a dink and dunk quarterback. Jalin Hyatt is take the ball deep, go deep and catch it. Go get my ball. That's the type of quarterback Russell Wilson is. They're a perfect pairing, and I'm hoping it produces results. And Russell Wilson, he is a clear OTA winner as well. From the people I've talked to that's been to practices, from the things I've read, from the things I've watched about practices, Russell Wilson has separated himself from the other quarterbacks at OTAs. And I don't say that to say Dart hasn't been good, because Dart has been good. I don't say Jameis Winston's been bad, because he hasn't been bad. And I don't say that to say Tommy DeVito is not an NFL quarterback, because he's proven that he at least can be a part of a team. I say Russ has separated himself because the level of play that he is working at right now is just a couple floors higher than the other quarterbacks on this roster. And it should be. You're the veteran. You're the 10-time Pro Bowler. You're the Super Bowl champion. It should look that way. And outside of playing well, even the Giants, I think Russell Wilson at this point has become underrated in the grand scheme of things. And I think that's also bled into the Giants a little bit prior to them playing with Russell Wilson. Because Wan'Dale Robinson, as well as Darius Slayton, have both essentially said he's better than we anticipated. Wan'Dale Robinson says the first time Russell Wilson threw to them, he and Darius Slayton said, "This is better than we expected," describing his style, and then smiles. That deep ball, it really drops right in there. Comes in like a pillow. Really easy to catch. How many times did we see Giants wide receivers run 5-yard routes and they had a laser thrown at them and it bounced off their hands and it was intercepted? Too many times. Wan'Dale Robinson also saying this about Russell Wilson. The way he just commanded even just that little session of just the three of us, me, Slay, and Theo Johnson, it was just kind of like, we haven't had a quarterback that's just going to command everything. And you know exactly what you want. So he has been great. Also adding, that deep ball just drops right in the bucket. Whenever he's throwing the shorter routes, it comes in like a pillow. It's really, really easy to catch. Wan'Dale Robinson has been complimentary of Russell Wilson. Darius Slayton has been complimentary of Russell Wilson. And I don't always want to bring it back to number 8, but there's a major gap between the current number 3 and the former number 8. Russell Wilson is the ultimate X factor this year. He's the ultimate X factor for this team. If you get the Russ that you saw in the first 6 games he played with the Pittsburgh Steelers, this team could compete for a wild card spot. Russ is the ultimate swing player this year. It's pretty cool to say that it was a quarterback who's actually done it at a high level in this league. The last OTA winner I want to talk about on today's show is offensive coordinator Mike Kafka. There's been a lot of talk this offseason of who is going to call the plays for the Giants offense. We know when the Giants hired Brian Daboll, it was Mike Kafka. And the next year it was Kafka, then Daboll, then Shea Tierney, then Daboll, then Kafka, then Tierney, and it was everywhere. And then it was Daboll last year. Well, Mike Kafka's been the one calling the plays at Giants OTAs. He was also the guy calling the plays at Giants rookie minicamp. And I was like, you know what? What does that really mean? So I went back and looked at scouting practice reports, rather, from last year's OTAs and last year's rookie minicamp. And Brian Daboll was the one calling the plays at those camps. And Brian Daboll ended up calling the plays in the 2024 season. I think Kafka's going to call the plays. And I don't know if I love that. I don't know if I hate it. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know who is best to call the plays. But whoever is the best, make it happen. If Brian Daboll, you think it's Kafka, do it. Brian Daboll, if you think it's you, do it. But stick with it. No flip-flop. No my turn, your turn. No BS what it was in 2023. Pick a play caller and stay with it. I'm fine with it being Mike Kafka. He was the offensive coordinator when the Giants got to the playoffs and beat the Vikings. So I'm cool with that. Big winner for Kafka. He goes from essentially just being on the staff last year as the OC and not calling plays to, once again, getting a chance to be the play caller for this organization this upcoming season. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We're going to get to the losers from OTAs coming up in a second. But if you want Giants videos all off-season long, multiple videos every single day, subscribe to the channel right now. I always get a comment when I do training camp winners and losers, preseason winners and losers. There's always one loser in the comments that says, Marshall, there are no losers in the NFL. They all make more money than you, and you are the loser. So I can't wait for someone to comment that so we can all point and laugh and say, ha, 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 you are the losers. Again, no one's a loser, but not everyone can be winners. And someone that I think didn't have the best spring or didn't do what they needed to do to be the clear CB2, which I do think they will be, is Deonte Banks. Dan Duggan said this on Thursday. Deonte Banks and Cordell Flott split reps as the starting outside cornerback opposite of Paulson Adebo. That's an interesting development coming off of Banks' disappointing second season. And it's not as if Banks' reps were being limited because he worked with the second-team defense during some periods. So we have a position battle. We have a CB2 battle, it seems like. I do think it'll be Deonte Banks. I think he will win that job, and I think that he should be given the opportunity to get that job. He's a scholarship player. He's a first-round pick. That's what you get. You get those opportunities. But I don't think it's great that the Giants are even running reps at practice with the idea that he may not be that guy. I don't like we talked about with Russell Wilson being the X factor for this team. Deonte Banks holds the keys in the cards for the New York Giants to be a top 10 or top 5 defense in the NFL this year. Like, this pass rush is going to be sick. Like, there's no denying that at this point. Your inside linebackers are good in Bobby Okereke and Micah McFadden. Your safeties are good in Javon Holland and Tyler Nubin. We all like Paulson Adebo. But if Deonte Banks can live up to even half of what he thought he was going to be when he was a first-round pick out of Maryland, that takes this defense to another stratosphere. We want him to be that guy. We need him to be that guy. Because if he is that guy, like that guy, the Giants are going to be that guy. Shout out to Malik Nabers, not an OTA loser, really. I just wanted to talk about Nabers as he did not really practice at all during the 13 OTA sessions. He is dealing with a toe injury, so I'm kind of cheating just to give you guys an injury update on Nabers. Brian Dable talked about Malik Nabers and essentially said, look, we're taking it slow. We're being smart. Saying Brian Dable said wide receiver Malik Nabers is progressing with the toe problem. Will still be rehabbing and has done some walkthrough stuff at OTAs. So didn't really get to practice, didn't really get to work any chemistry with Russell Wilson. Nothing to worry about here at all. Brian Dable said at the beginning of OTAs that this is an injury that's somewhat been nagging him and bothering him since his days at LSU. So the Giants are just being smart with him, which I don't mind at all. But I would have liked to seen him work with Russell Wilson a little bit. I would have liked to seen him build up some chemistry and some continuity with Russell Wilson, work on some timing, see how he likes balls thrown to him, and how he likes to catch passes and things of that nature. But I'm not worried about it. I'm not upset about it. I'm just wishing I could have seen some more Malik Nabers highlights in the month of May and June. Tommy DeVito is a loser for me, which that sounds extremely harsh. But the facts are the facts. Tommy DeVito was a lot like you and a lot like me, standing there and watching, which to not sound like a total a-hole, good. I don't need Tommy DeVito taking snaps away from Jaxson Dart. I don't need Tommy DeVito taking snaps away from Jameis Winston. And I don't need Tommy DeVito taking snaps away from Russell Wilson. I know there was a DeVito era. It was fun, I guess. But, it's over. You have Russell Wilson, you have Jameis Winston, and you have Jaxson Dart. There's no reason to really give Tommy DeVito work. That's all I got to say. And it kind of unfolded that way. Give the people that are going to be taking snaps in games the offseason reps. When you even think about giving DeVito a rep, just give the rep to Jaxson Dart. I don't. There's no reason to give your QB4 who's not going to be on the roster in 2 months. You get a limited practice time. Why waste it? Why waste it? The last OTA losers is the Giants O-line. And I guess you could flip this and say a winner was the Giants pass rush. I get it. Non-padded practice, non-contact practice. The Giants pass rush got the best of the Giants offensive line, and you could tell it somewhat got to the mental of the Giants offensive line. There was a practice fight a couple of days ago. Jermaine Illuminor and James Hudson, they got in a fight with Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeaux, and yeah, if people were beating my ass on a football field like the way the Giants D-line has been beating the Giants O-line, I'd probably want to fight them too. I tweeted out a video of Giants practice that Abdul Carter posted on his Instagram where Kayvon Thibodeaux kind of whooped Jermaine Illuminor and Abdul Carter kind of whooped Aaron Stinney and Brian Burns kind of whooped James Hudson III. And they said, meet me at the ball with Russell Wilson. And Jermaine Illuminor fired off some tweets saying, can't wait for training camp. Then he said, I hate when pointless shit goes viral. And then he deleted all those tweets. The Giants D-line has the Giants O-line in a tizzy right now. And it's not the Giants O-line that's going to be playing, to be fair. Andrew Thomas didn't practice at OTAs. John Runyon didn't practice until like the second to last practice, and he only did it in limited fashion. They've been very slow with Greg Van Roten. Evan Neal's been playing left guard. I guess you can look at it two ways. Giants D-line is sick, or the Giants O-line may be in trouble again. I tend to lean towards the Giants D-line is going to be sick, and everything changes when you got 78 as your left tackle. So no real judgments there, but multiple people talked about it. Giants D-line got the better of the Giants O-line in OTAs. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'll continue to keep you updated over there. Twitter, Instagram, at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up, and let's go Giants. Who was that?
That was Yo's.
Oh, do we got breaking news or something?
No, I think he was going to tour.
Oh, gotcha. Was I too mean to Tommy?
That was just hilarious how it came out. Tommy DeVito is a loser to me.
I felt bad someone saying it.
It was funny as hell.
I don't know.
He's not going to be a part of the roster. It's unfortunate.
Like,
but
there's no need to wait.
Just don't waste the time.
The writing's on the wall. Every practice report had minimal snaps being taken for
honestly,
DeVito.
kind of feel bad for him. Like, they should just let him loose and go do an OTA somewhere else where he can get the reps.
Do you think another team wants him?
No.
I don't either. I don't feel bad for him. He got to play meaningful games.
He got to live out
Giants.
a dream that the entire universe wants to live out.
Every Giants fan that ever grew up wished that they could play on Monday Night Football for the Giants and get a win. He did that. He was
the biggest story in sports for a month.
He was the Jeremy Lin of the Knicks.
Yep.
It was DeVito sanity. It's kind of what it was.
And it is what it is. It's done now.
Hope he made a lot of money doing it.
Unfortunately for him versus Jeremy Lin, a long bench career is not in the cards.
No. And Jeremy Lin kind of got a bag after that.
Yeah. Jeremy Lin had some big playoff performances for the Hornets way back a couple years after all that.
I do not remember that. I do not remember.
Yeah, he lost every game, but he was balling.
Playoff performances for the Hornets.
I remember there was a 2K My Team card, playoff card, Jeremy Lin, the man bun.
Oh, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. Dan Miller says, hell no, speak your mind. I know. I try. Look, those guys are people too, man. I know we look at them as NFL players, but those guys are people too. And they put a lot into this. They put their life into it. It's easy to sit in a headphone, whatever you want to call it, headset, and criticize those guys, but
also, at the same time, Tommy DeVito got a lot farther than anybody who's put their entire life into it as well. So he's reaped the rewards.
Agreed.
He's going to be all right.
Agreed. We're going to do a segment about the Giants pass rush. Let's do a mailbag call real quick.
Yeah.
Hashtag Giants or Super Chat to get on the show. We'll do a mailbag in about 15 minutes or so. I saw about 4 or 5 questions come in. If we can get some more questions, that'd be dope. If you want to guarantee your spot, you can send a Super Chat or just comment down below for free and include a hashtag Giants in there. A take, a comment, a trade rumor, a thought, something you want to tell me. Like, you can ask me anything. I really don't care. I'm an open book. He did have a Pizza Hut commercial, Greg Congdon. He's got a lot. If his agent didn't take all his money, he's got a lot of money, that's for sure.
Stellato.
Oh, man.
Is this how you wanted this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It is. It is. All right. Let's go ahead and let me pull up the script here. All right. Let's do it. What if I told you the New York Giants led the NFL in sacks with 35 through the first 8 weeks of the 2024 season? The most of any team since the 2017 Jacksonville Jaguars. And that pass rush, it got so much better this offseason. We'll dive into that on today's show, but first, I want to ask this question. Who leads the Giants in sacks this year? Which one of these monsters is going to have the most sacks for the Giants this upcoming season? Give me the number of the player you think will do it down in the comments section. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Grene. Appreciate everybody for being here. There's a lot to be excited about for the New York Giants in the 2024 season. But one thing that should fire you up more than anything else is these four monsters right here. Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, Abdul Carter, and Kayvon Thibodeaux. The Giants' pass rush has been dominant at OTAs. And I understand it's non-padded practice, and I understand it's non-contact, but we've all seen the clips. If you haven't, go to my Twitter, go to my Instagram, it's on there. Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, and Kayvon Thibodeaux have been unblockable. And Dexter Lawrence hasn't even been playing. And this is a team that had 35 sacks through 8 games last year. That was number 1 in the NFL. That's the most of any team since the 2017 Jacksonville Jaguars, who got to the AFC Championship. And they're much better. And you added Abdul Carter, the best pass rusher in the draft. If teams can't block this year, the Giants need to make them pay. Like, it's a foundational piece of football. If you can't block, you can't win. And the Giants need to make other teams that can't block pay for that. Like, this team was already special last year at the beginning of the year before the injuries to Dexter Lawrence and crew started to heat up. The Giants tallied 35 sacks for the first 8 weeks of the 2024 NFL season. That was the most by any team since the 2017 Jags. They have since added Abdul Carter, Chauncey Golston, and Darius Alexander. This pass rush is going to be scary good. This is an organization that knows what it's like to have a dominant pass rush. We've seen Justin Tuck. We've seen Michael Strahan. We've seen Osi Umenyiora. We've seen Matthias Kiwanuka. We've seen all those guys, JPP, all on the field at the same time. This organization has the best football player outside of Tom Brady to ever wear a helmet, and Lawrence Taylor. This team is getting back to the DNA and the foundation of who they are. The big blue wrecking crew, pinning their ears back and making life hell for opposing quarterbacks. I understand that Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, and Kayvon Thibodeaux all play the same position. But we all know about the NASCAR package. We all know that the Giants get multiple players on the field at the same time, and the Giants have to figure out a way to do that. You got to be creative, Shane Bowen. Get Abdul Carter out there with Brian Burns and with Kayvon Thibodeaux. And we've gotten kind of a sneak peek of how that's going to look. We've seen Abdul Carter lined up over the defensive tackle. We saw last year Brian Burns drop into coverage a little bit. He should have had a pick 6 in week 2, or week 3 was that against the Cleveland Browns that he dropped, where he also had a strip sack in that game. Like, we've seen Abdul lined up at defensive tackle, giving Aaron Stinney work. We've seen him lined up all over the field already, playing off the edge, lining up in the A-gap, playing off ball. Like, he is a chess piece, and they are going to move him around the field at all costs. And it's good to see that the Giants are thinking of ways to do that. Jordan Renata of ESPN wrote this, saying using Carter in specific packages at a more traditional inside linebacker spot is the most likely option for Bowen to get all three on the field together. Carter played inside linebacker his first 2 seasons, totaling over 12 sacks at Penn State. With the Giants, he's mixing in there at practice and specific pass rush situations. I want all 3 on the field on passing downs, accompanied by the best defensive tackle, nose tackle in the NFL, Dexter Lawrence. I loved the quote from Brian Burns where he was talking about the defense. He's like, yeah, we got Abdul Carter. Like, it's going to be tough. You got to block Carter. You got to block me and Thibodeaux. And he's like, oh, yeah, and we got a Dex. You don't have a Dex. we have a Dex. Like, Shane Bowen, you've got all the ingredients to cook a 5-star meal, man. You need to be a Michelin chef this year. You have to cook it up on the defensive side of the ball. There's really no excuse either. Like, there's talented players at all three levels of this defense, and the core of this defense is the front seven. And you got to make life hell for opposing quarterbacks. For the Giants to be good this year, for the Giants to be who I, and we all hope they can be, they got to be carried by the defense. They've got to be one of the best defenses in the National Football League. Like, it's that simple. The defense is what's going to win games for the Giants this year. Offense got better. You added Russell Wilson. You brought back some players on the offensive line, but you got to be elite on the defensive side of the ball, and that starts with Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence has to be healthy this year. The last 2 years, he had his season cut short due to injuries. I think you can make the argument that there is no bigger gap in the NFL from the best player at a position to the second best player at a position than the gap there is between Dexter Lawrence and the second best nose tackle. When you talk about nose tackle pressures the last 3 years, how many pressures have you totaled in the last 3 years from the nose tackle spot? Third place, Jordan Davis. I think a lot of people would say Jordan Davis is a hell of a football player. I think a lot of people would say that Vita Vea is a hell of a football player. You could put the number of pressures that Vita Vea and Jordan Davis together, what's that, 45? And double it, and it is still not what Dexter Lawrence has done. I don't want people to take this man for granted. I don't want people to think that there are Dexter Lawrences that are willing to walk through the doors. There's not. He's the most unique defensive player in the NFL. I think there's an argument to be made he is the best defensive player in the NFL, and we are lucky. If he can give us 15-plus games this year and do what he does, which is reaching north of 50-plus pressures and getting 7.5-plus sacks when he plays 16 games, I'll be very, very happy with him, and I will be happy with this defense. You can't see me, but I'm doing the sexy Dexy dance, and I better be seeing that a lot of Sundays this year. I also want to make this abundantly clear. It pisses me off the disrespect that Brian Burns gets. I truly think he has officially become the most underrated player in the NFL. Everyone talks about the Rams, the LA Rams, as the smartest organization in the NFL, most forward-thinking organization in the NFL. The Los Angeles Rams offered 2 first-round picks for Brian Burns. That's how good they think they are. And I think people are sleeping on him. Played through multiple injuries last year. Everyone talked about it. He had a groin, he had a hip, he had a back. He was always hurt. But he played every single game because he didn't quit when he could have. 8.5 sacks, 17 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, 8 pass breakups, 42 stops. Marshall, what is a stop? A stop is considered a tackle that results in a negative play for the offense. He was second in the NFL in those tackles. I think that's pretty damn impressive. He also had 61 pressures, 42 QB hurries, and he had the 12th best pass rush grade in the NFL. Shout out to Talking Giants. Shout out to my guy Justin Pennick. Go give him a follow. He made this awesome graphic, and it just shows a little bit better of a perspective on how special Brian Burns was. He had the 5th most pressures under 3 seconds last year. And out of all edge rushers with 300 pass rushing snaps, Burns has the fastest average time to pressure in the NFL. When you close your eyes and you say, brain, draw me a picture of an SEC pass rusher, it's Brian Burns. I don't think people understand how good he is. And he's kind of become a punching bag, I feel like, for the Giants fans because he's got a lot of expectations. $150 million, you gave up a second-round pick. This guy is special. This guy is damn good at football. And he's going to show everybody that again this year. After he had one of the best seasons in the NFL last year, it just didn't get the hype and recognition it could have because sometimes it's not easy to see defensive line sacks. Sacks are easy to digest, but just like Kayvon Thibodeaux, who had 11.5 sacks a couple of years ago, that was actually his worst season in the NFL. And he actually just had his best season in the NFL, and he only had 5.5 sacks. There's more to being a defensive edge and a pass rusher than just the sack total. I also think Kayvon Thibodeaux is in store for a breakout year for a couple of reasons. His best year in the NFL was last year, but we all know how this works. It's contract time. He's trying to get a payday. He looks bigger. He's put on muscle. He's getting stronger. And he knows the best thing for Kayvon Thibodeaux is to get paid and to get paid as a New York Giant. Because if you're a successful football player and you're once a Giant, always a Giant, only a Giant, you are NFL royalty. I think we've all seen the people that have walked through those halls in 1925 Giants Drive that have just been put into a different stratosphere because they're New York Giants. Shout out to PFF. Let's look at some grades. His pass rush grades, his run defense grades. They were the best this past year. But Marshall, he didn't have the most sacks. Why would that be? Because there's more to being a good edge rusher than just the number of sacks you put together. He had the best pass rush grade and the best ranking of his career this past year. The run defense, second best, but still solid. This is someone I think is going to take a big leap this year with some pressure being taken off of him. PFF has an awesome stat out there. It's a PRP, pass rush production score. It puts together pressures, sacks, batted balls, QB hits, all the things that mattered into one number. Kayvon Thibodeaux's rookie year ranked as the 42nd best PRP score, then 31st, then 27th. Growth and growth. Kayvon Thibodeaux could be a top 20 PRP player in 2025. That's going to be big for this defense. And just like the PRP score goes up, pass rush win rate doubled. But Marshall, he had the most sacks of his career in 2013. Well, he more than doubled his pass rush win rate in 2024. The growth for Kayvon Thibodeaux needs to continue to be there, and I think he's going to have his best season in the NFL. And let's not forget about that bad man we took with the number 3 overall pick. I think there's been a lot of focus on Dart. There's been a lot of focus on Russell Wilson. This guy's scary. Like, it is scary how good he already is. The way he moves, the force he plays with, the strength he has, the football IQ, the motor. Like, I don't want people to forget how special of a guy this guy is going to be. And I hope he reminds everybody. The Broncos led the NFL in sacks last year with 63. If I get 15-plus games out of Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeaux, Dexter Lawrence, and Abdul Carter, I'm kind of expecting for the New York Giants to break that number. And let's not forget about Darius Alexander, who I think is going to be an impact player as a rookie, 24 years old. Let's not forget about Chauncey Golston, who was an impact player for the Dallas Cowboys the last couple of years. This Giants pass rush is going to be special, and that's how they have to win games. That's the formula. But it starts with these 4 horsemen, 0, 97, 51, and 5. You want to win football games next year? These 4 guys, they got to show up. I'll ask you again, who leads this team in sacks? When the season's all said and done, which one of these 4 men are going to have the most sacks on the year? Sound off for me. And make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. The Giants are getting back to what it means to be New York Giants and play New York Giants football, and I'm pumped up about it. Appreciate y'all. If you could, made this far in the video, hit that thumbs up icon, and we'll see you later. What up? What up? Delusional says Giants have top 10 defense this year, maybe. I think they should, man. I really do. I really do. You spent a lot. You only get so many assets as a team to use. You only get so many resources to use. They've poured a lot of their resources into the defensive side of the ball. They really, really have. My guy Luis in the chat. But Marshall. What's up, Beast? Austin says KT is good. He just needs to play harder. I think he can improve everywhere. I'm very excited for Abdul Carter with him now. We have no weakness on that D-line. Agreed. They got to be scared of Greg Congdon. The Giants need to put fear into opposing quarterbacks. They do. They absolutely do. This is unbelievable, man. This is unbelievable. All righty, we're going to close the show with a mailbag. If you want to get your questions on the show, drop a comment in the comment section. Include a hashtag Giants to get up on screen. And let's go. And let's do it. PGA Tour is hiring NFL Executive Vice President. I don't understand why. Tiger Metal Stack says duck race. A duck race for what? A duck race for what? What do we want to do a duck race for? Just for the sake of it? That's cool. All right. Delusional NY Giants fan coming with a good question. What is our biggest weakness? I love that. Kenya, I'm ready for some football, man. I am. That's why the NFL will forever remain king over the NBA. The Giants won 3 games last year. And we are dying to watch them play football. Is there any Washington Wizards fan that is dying for next season?
Nope.
It's
They also have like the 6th, 7th pick. That shit sucks for them. How about like
Ernie, if you want to ask that question and throw in a hashtag Giants, we could pop it up. We could pop it up on screen. Let's do it. ETC, what's happening, gang? Thought I saw red super chat come in, but it was just some this. There's the man, Smitty says Tiger Metal Stack.
TMS, what's good, baby?
TMS. Michael says, who's my favorite Giants? Wow, back to back. Michael and David. Who's your favorite Giants and who's your favorite Giant ever? Bronx Boy says, where's CTM? I don't know if Thursdays are a good day for CTM, and that may cause us to change because last Thursday, I didn't even know you guys went live, and we're live again. I don't know if it's a bad day for her. I feel bad. I don't know if she wants to watch it. All right, let's go ahead and dive into this here mailbag. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am Marshall Green. We got a mailbag coming up on today's show. We are just going to react to subscribers' questions on the channel. We go live every single Thursday on the channel. So if you want to join those mailbags, subscribe and turn those notifications on. Major shout out to my guy King Kenya. Give me a K in the chat for the legend. $100 super chat. Says 8 wins easy this season. Do you think we will get more help in the wide receiver room? I'll answer that question in a second. But first, I want to hear from y'all. Do you think Jalin Hyatt breaks out this year? Is this the year that we finally get what we've been hoping for from the 3rd round pick? Let me know. Kenya, I do think the Giants are going to get more help. And by more help, I mean more production from the wide receiver room this year. And yes, I do think Jalin Hyatt is going to break out. And to me, can he get to 500 yards this year? That's kind of where I'm looking at. When in general, it's not, I think they're going to get more help because I think that there's going to be players that are going to be added to this roster. I think it's because Malik Nabers now gets to play with Russell Wilson. And Darius Slayton, a deep threat, now gets to play with the best deep-throwing quarterback in the NFL. Wan'Dale Robinson now gets to play in a quarterback that could execute short throws while maximizing yards after catch. And Jalin Hyatt is being put with the quarterback that I think makes most sense for him. Russell Wilson was, in 24 the best deep ball thrower in the NFL. Jalin Hyatt got drafted because he was the best deep ball receiver in college football a couple years ago. And Brian Dable said it. Jalin Hyatt, he's improved in all facets of being a receiver. We're going to need him to continue to do it heading into training camp. If the Giants want to win 8 games this year, they're going to need some out of Jalin Hyatt. They're going to need a little bit more out of Darius Slayton. And they're going to need Malik Nabers to play as many games as possible. Give me the over on 7.5 wins for the Giants this year. Saya, what up? Hope that's right. Marsh, With Hyatt turning up and him moving up the depth chart, who do you think falls back on the depth chart? I don't really think anyone falls back. The reason he's been rising up the depth chart is because Malik Nabers has not been at practice. Like, Nabers is your wide receiver 1. Slayton is clearly your wide receiver 2. And Wan'Dale Robinson is your slot wide receiver. Where I do think we could see more Hyatt than we expected, Saya, is you move Malik Nabers into the slot. And you have Jalin Hyatt and Darius Slayton on the outside. Or you move Hyatt into the slot a little bit. He did that at Tennessee. It's kind of a different offense that they run at Tennessee, a little bit Mickey Mouse-ish, where they just spread them out and their slot actually almost lines up as outside receiver, and the outside receiver lines up outside the numbers. I want to see Nabers, Slayton, and Hyatt all on the field together. And we talk about NASCAR package on defense. Let's get some fast receivers out there this year. The high buy. What's up, my man? How do you expect the Giants to utilize Russ the best visibilities? Doing what he likes, doing what he's successful at. I think it'll be a seamless marriage between Russell Wilson and Brian Daboll. Daboll is a guy that in Buffalo his best years was when he took shots, when he threw the ball downfield. And, like, that's what Russ does. Russ wants to throw it deep. Russ wants to throw outside the numbers. Russ wants to create chunk plays. And that's the type of offense that Brian Daboll wants to run. The way they can maximize Russ is creating a little bit of a run game and protecting him. It's very obvious. It's very evident and noted throughout his career. Russell Wilson will take sacks, sometimes too many. And he also, at this point in his career, doesn't move as well as he once did. So we want him to have time, and we want people to be running deep so they could throw him the ball down the field. Throwing shade, what's happening, man? Everyone claims that Hyatt will be the biggest beneficiary from the addition of Russell Wilson on the roster. Am I the only one who thinks that Darius Slayton will be the biggest beneficiary? No. And I tweeted it out this week, throwing shade. I think Darius Slayton's in for a career year. Like, this guy put together, 4 or 5 seasons of 700-plus yards with number 8 throwing in the ball? It's hard to be a deep threat when you got a quarterback that doesn't throw it deep. I do think Darius Slayton is probably going to benefit the most from that. But I think the reason people say Hyatt is because Hyatt had 8 catches last year. And if he doesn't quadruple that this year, like if Hyatt doesn't have 32 catches this year, I'd probably consider it a disappointment for him. Delusional MYG fan. We are one of the same. What is our biggest weakness? That's a great question, man. That's a great question. I think still there's some question marks about the interior offensive line. I still don't have the utmost confidence in the left guard, center, and right guard. I think in general you could use like some more talent there, and you still need an answer at that right guard spot long term. John Runyan was okay last year. John Michael Schmitz is kind of walking down the path of being a bust. I think that tight end remains a major question mark. I have hope in Theo Johnson. I want Theo Johnson to be that guy. But we're hoping at this point. I think CB2 is a weakness. We want Deonte Banks to be that guy. He's got to be that guy. So interior offensive line, overall offensive playmakers, CB2, and kicker. Like, kicker is still a weakness for me. So those would be the biggest weaknesses. And like, I guess you could say quarterback play too. Like, I guess you could say quarterback play, but I've got more confidence in Russell Wilson than a lot of other people. I was talking with Patrick Seaman. He goes, I think you're going to be disappointed with Russell Wilson. It's like, okay. My bar is not that high, but my bar was also extremely low the prior 5.5 years. So something's got to give. Something's got to give. Great question, bro. Ernie, if Russ has Pro Bowl year, do you see him coming back next year, possibly letting Dart for yeah, okay, let Jaxson Dart sit another year. I would love that. Like, I kind of think about it like this. Isn't the goal to have a good quarterback? And if Russell Wilson plays good, I'm bringing him back. because he's good. And as much Dart Kool-Aid as I drink, and as good as I want Dart and think he could be, why would I shoo out a good quarterback in hopes that another guy can't be a good quarterback? If you got a hot girlfriend, you don't dump her in hopes that you can find another hot girlfriend. You just keep the hot girlfriend. Like, that's the name of the game. You're looking for a good quarterback. If Russ plays at a Pro Bowl level, which Pro Bowl is BS anyways, but if Russ plays good, if the Giants win 10 games with Russell Wilson next year, I want Russell Wilson to be my quarterback again. I don't know. That's kind of how I look at it. There's no rush to start Dart. He's 21 years old. He gets it another year. Greg Congdon, what's up, Beast? Thank you all, as always, my friend. Can Malik Nabers get his toe fixed surgically or something that is just going to be an issue long term? Because Greg Congdon, I have wondered the exact same thing, my man. If it's been bothering you since LSU, why has it not been fixed? Like, Brian Dable said this at Thursday's OTA, saying Brian Dable about Malik Nabers is progressing with the toe problem, will still be rehabbing, has done some walkthrough stuff. It's, I don't know what's going on with the toe. I kind of looked at it, Greg Congdon, as that's a future Marsh problem. If the toe is a problem in the preseason, I'll then get pissed off. If the toe is a problem in the regular season, I'll be pissed off. But the toe didn't seem to hold him back last year. It could, and I see Vinny in the chat saying it could just be an excuse to hold him out and not add mileage to him because Giants are going to use him a lot this year. But, yeah, I think they could just be trying to keep him fresh. Fresh for the year, and if there is an injury, let's hope it's not all that big. I think if it could be fixed surgically, they would have done it. But, again, I don't know. I'd like for it to be fixed now so we never have to worry about the toe injury again. But unfortunately, I don't have that information. I think it'll be all right. I'm not worrying about it until I have to worry about it. Make sure you are hooked up with a Jaxson Dart jersey. Get it today so you have it when he's ready to go play on the field. Chatsports.com/dart. Chatsports.com/dart. Shout out to y'all for tuning in to this mailbag. We appreciate y'all. If you haven't yet, give me a follow on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram at @MarshallReed_. We'll see you later. Works for me. Bronx Boy says Smitty is fresh. What do you mean?
Like fresh to death, brother? Because, yeah, I'm always coming in dripping. The fuck?
Bronx Boy says that was fast. That was 10.5 minutes of questions.
10.5 minutes of nonstop Q&A.
Isn't that what we all want? 10.5 minutes is a long time. Ask Vinny.
He didn't get 10.5.
Hell no. He ain't got 10.5 minutes in years. Oh, my goodness. Where did Bellinger go? He's still here. Still here. 3 seconds is a long time.
Smitty needs a full beard. I'm trying the stash thing for now. We're seeing how it works.
I like the stash.
We're stashing for a little bit.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Bronx Boy says, I'm a stallion. And then he also says 3 seconds is a long time.
Possibly.
Kenya, Marsh, do you think Scat will praise Tracy sometime this season?
I don't think it's going to be really any replacing. It's going to be anything.
I don't ever think, and like, I don't want to put a label or a ceiling on Scatterboo. I don't ever see him as a 1A back. I see both them as complementary backs. Like, I see both them as pieces of a backfield. And I think, like, those two guys can, what if they're 1A, 1B for 2-3 years? That'd be cool.
Whatever you need on the football field, one of those two guys is going to be able to do it.
Yeah. I think there's a world, Kenya, where when we get to the offseason, Scatterboo had more carries than Tyrone Tracy. But I don't know if it'll technically be a replacement type thing. Don't sleep on Motor, guys. I know I'm just saying that because I'm not saying it because I just want to say it. He's got a lot of first-team reps in OTAs. A lot of them. Giants trust Motor Singletary. Brian Dable trusts Motor Singletary. I want Tracy. I want Scat as well, but just don't count out the vet yet. Yo, Marsh, do you have any dynasty teams for fantasy? Nah, I've never did a dynasty league. Never done a dynasty league. So have you?
I have. My buddies and I in college tried, but they have no concept of value, so I just cooked everybody. Just took all their players.
Someone asked who my favorite Giant was earlier. This year on the team, it's hard not to say Nabers, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love Nabers. I love Dexter Lawrence. I really like Brian Burns. Favorite all times, Eli Manning. They're not even close. Greg says, are you doing a Madden game this year? I could potentially play Smitty and Madden. Why did we do that? I forgot.
Because Giants and Vikes are playing week 1.
Is that why we did that? Okay.
I think so.
Dr. Pancake says, Smitty throwing shade by skipping my mailbag question.
Dr. Pancake, listen. I'm gonna let me see what it said, because there's probably a reason.
Mike G, what's up? Did you guys hire someone at Chat Sports yet? I applied. We've hired a couple of people. Man.
Dr. Pancake, that absolutely was a reason. I read this full question. There's a reason I didn't put it up. This is absurd.
If Hyatt and Theo combine for 1,000 yards.
That's not that out of pocket.
So let's say 650 for Theo, 350 for Hyatt.
Not that out of pocket. Second half's where we start getting off the rails.
And then we got 2 1,000-yard rushers. We're on 17-0.
I mean, Rusty would love that. He's a lot of under center for Rusty.
Rusty's an under center guy.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Pancake, I love it. 17-0. 17, and then we'd win 4 in the playoffs. 21-0.
Shout out to you, Dr. Pancake. I love the optimism, brother.
I love it, man. That door, man.
I mean, it has been getting you today.
It's only been open 10 times during the live.
I know.
No. Love that.
We're getting a Jaxson.
We're gonna have Jaxson Dart on show when Jaxson Dart starts.
Doppelganger.
Oh my God.
And it's not me.
Marsh, would a $5,000 dono get me to have a Taco Bell date with you? Yes. I think if you were just in Dallas and you told me you wanted to go to Taco Bell, we could go, Brody. We could go. Kenya, anything's possible.
Ooh, look at you. You're taking
a
nice Kevin Garnett clip.
Greg Congdon says talk is cheap. Bronx Boy says 2.5 price. You can get me, I'm half price. You're also half the size. All righty, we're going to sign off on today's show.
Always knew Vinny was cheap.
We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We'll see you later. We'll be back live on Thursday. Videos on the channel every day, rest of the week. Major shout out to Greg Congdon. Major shout out to King Kenya. Major shout out to that guy. We love you. We appreciate you. Let's go, Giants.